Okay, today we're going to look at the Arduino IDE or Integrated Development Environment. So click on Arduino to open it. And then I got to File. The File menu has the sketches I've used recently. Little programs in Arduino are called sketches. Okay, so it shows the ones I've used recently. Underneath that in the sketchbook it shows the ones that I wrote myself, and this is where you'll find the student ones when they save them. And in examples it gives me a range of different examples for different types of sensors and for different things. The first one we use always is the Hello World one in coding, which in Arduino's case is called the Blink sketch. So I'll click on that. Now I'm not going to look at the code in that today, I'm going to do that in another video. So all I'm looking at today is the way that we actually use the IDE. So we had a look at the File menu, and now we're going to go over to the other main one that we use, which is the Tools menu. Now in the Tools menu, the two things you need to look at first are, is your board connected? Is the right one? In this case it is, it's a Uno. And am I connected to a port, and which one? And in this case it tells me I'm connected to COM port 13. Now does that always come up there? No. Sometimes you just get a list of the COM ports, but it doesn't actually show you which one you're connected to. Now the simple way to find that out is go down to your little folder here, click on your little folder, go up to your control panel, click on control panel, and then in control panel you want your device manager, so click on device manager, and in device manager logically we're going to go down here to the ports and click on that little down signal there, and we can see we've got Arduino Uno connected to COM port 13. So if you're getting the COM ports coming up but you can't see which one Arduino is connected to, just go to your device manager and it'll have it listed down here, and then you just go back and select COM port 13. Okay, so the two things you need to know: make sure that your board is the right board, make sure the port is connected, and then you are good to go generally. Okay, now to load your programs, there's two things you need to know. So let's say we'll have a look at, there's a little Blink sketch. To load this to my Arduino, I can check the code by clicking here, check it. I don't usually, I just run it. And if there's a mistake or an error, I'll tell you what, I'll go down, I'll just quickly change something in this sketch. I'll change, and this is what students quite often do, is put a lowercase w there instead of camel case, so digital right, and I'll click run, and you'll see a mistake come up in the bottom there. I've got an Arduino connected. Now notice down here it's giving me a message. I'll just drag that down, drag that up a bit, and notice too it's also highlighted that line. So when I scroll up here, notice it says blink in function void loop, error, digital write was not declared in the scope, digital write was not declared in the scope. If you see digital write was not declared in the scope, you know that generally what they've done is they have used a lowercase w. Okay, so you go back and you have a look at that. This is the debugging area in Arduino. It tells you where the problems are. Okay, so please encourage your students to read this and then go back and try to fix up any errors that they've made in the code. Okay, going back to the top of the board here again, tools. Now I've got a temperature sensor connected to my computer, but I haven't run the code. But to look at that code, to look at that working, once I've hooked it up, I'd go up to tools and then I go down to serial monitor, and the serial monitor actually shows me what's happening over on my temperature sensor there, as you can see. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So that was the introduction to the Arduino IDE.